Do you train combat sports? Have you ever been injured? Dr. Megan Jimenez is an Army orthopedic sports surgeon and Jiu Jitsu black belt. This is Doctor Jiu Jitsu, your go-to podcast for combat sports, military performance, injury prevention, and treatment. New episodes drop the first Friday of each month.
Hey guys, welcome to the Doctor Jiu Jitsu show. My name is Megan Jimenez. I am an orthopedic surgeon and black belt in Jiu Jitsu. Today I have my good friend Marques Daniels on the show. He has quite the impressive resume, being in the military for 22 years. He was in the Army, he was a Ranger, did the whole infantry thing, Special Forces recruiter, lots of stuff, being on the line, back and forth. And now he owns his own gym in Banks, Oregon.
Thanks.
Yep, and he has had his black belt for 6 years. He's also competed and won a lot of in amateur MMA, many jiu-jitsu competitions, still competing as a master's athlete. So just a lot of stuff to talk about today with him. Thanks for being here.
Let's go.
All right, well, let's get started. So back to the beginning. What pulled you into the Army from the get-go, and what brought you to Combatives?
Such a great question. I started in the Army. I was a fighter. Again, I don't know what everybody tells you, but most of the time people join the Army enlisted because they're running away from something, or for me, I just wanted separation. I wanted to do something that enabled me to fight, enabled me to use the skills that I had. I was really good at street fighting.
We're not trying to promote that. We are not promoting that.
It's very bad. But yeah, I ended up, I saw a video of a recruiter. He showed me a Ranger, guy jumping out of an airplane, running down a wall. I'm like, yeah, I think I'll do that. I told my mom I was going in the dental field or going in some kind of radiology tech or something like that. But then I ended up coming back infantry of a Ranger, and that was it. No.
That's funny. That's kind of why I joined too. I wasn't running away from anything. I was already an orthopedic surgeon. I said, hey, I want to jump out of airplanes and climb walls.
Yeah.
And I haven't done the airplane thing yet, but it's on my list.
It's on your list.
It's on my list. But I did some wall jumping, wall
Yeah.
climbing the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Saw some
Belay.
injuries.
Yeah. On belay. Let's go.
All right. So, and then Combatives, when did you find that and what brought you to that? Were you doing jiu-jitsu before?
So no, actually, like when I first started in the Army, Combatives wasn't really a thing, but we had this platoon sergeant in Ranger Battalion named Iron Mike Kennedy, man. He used to teach us cool things in the sawdust pit, and then when you go through RIP, they make you fight each other, and so that was cool. When you go through Ranger school, they make you box each other, or the pugil sticks and stuff like that. So I've always had this aggression that I wanted to, put somewhere. And then in 2005, I heard they had this Combatives program starting up, and I read it in the Army Times, if you will. And so I read in the Army Times, like, you know what? I'm going to do that one of these days. I was sitting behind a recruiter's desk in Hawaii, chilling. And I just saw it and I wanted to do it. And then the opportunity came in 2010. So, yeah.
Is that when it started? 2005 it started.
2005
Yeah.
It started. You had Tim Kennedy and all these big names just running, like, and they were doing really well. 82nd was doing good. The Ranger Battalion was killing it back in the day. And so again, they would publish these things every year, 2005, 2006. And I would just sit back and watch, just waiting for my time. And I was like, I'll do it one of these days. I promise I'll do it. And so and then finally just things worked out. And then I was able to jump into it.
We're jumping ahead a little bit in my interview
Sure.
notes, but the combative stuff, did it come from jiu-jitsu? Did it stem from jiu-jitsu? Was it always two separate entities? Like, talk about the mix of the two.
Yeah, I love that. Well, combatives, when you look at Army combatives and the combatives overall, it comprises of many different disciplines, whether it's boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, American wrestling, freestyle wrestling, all of it combined, shooting, CQB, just a bunch of different things that, and then the fitness aspect to cap it all off, because you got to be in shape to do any of this stuff, right?
What's CQB? Just
close quarter battle, close quarter combat. You have your infantrymen or your people just going in and clearing rooms and stuff.
So all of this is combatives.
So all of this is combatives, right? And then one other portion of the combatives network is how you're able to pass on that information. because a lot of times when you see programs back in the day in the 90s, they would get started and they would say, oh yeah, we do Aikido or we do Judo, but then you can't, it dies out when the person leaves the program. It just not there's no continuity in that, and so that's where Matt Larson came from Ranger Battalion, started up the Combatives program, and brought it out to the Modern Army Combatives program, brought it out to the rest of the force, and that's what we use now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So 22 years
Yeah.
you were in the military, full career, long time.
Long time.
And towards the end, you got to go and teach combatives.
Yes.
And was that when you become the combatives master trainer?
Mm-hmm.
So you go to school for that?
Yeah.
And then you taught towards the end of your career?
Yeah. So during that time, as they were starting to get everything, they had 4 levels of combatives. They had, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. And then when it got down time towards 2013-ish, right, they started to, they made it down into basic combatives course, tactical combatives course, and then the combatives master trainer course. And so then I went through level 1, level 2, and then I went to BCC, TCC, and then I went into the combatives master trainer course. And so that's
BCC, TCC, that's just like beginner, is that?
Yeah, basic combatives course, and then the tactical combatives course.
They still have those?
Yes.
All
Yes,
right.
yes. It's out at Fort Benning.
There you
Fort
go.
Bragg runs it. Fort Hood has a great school too.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I have to look into that.
Yeah.
On top of my jumping airplanes.
They have them here too. I'm
That's
telling you, go crush it.
I need to.
Yeah.
Okay, so 22 years.
22 years. Yeah.
And then when you retired, like, I hear a lot of people retiring from the military and
Mhm.
really not, just feeling lost, right? You don't know what to do.
Absolutely.
So did you find your place in jiu-jitsu after retiring? Was it something that was made it easier, or did you still have a really tough time?
I think a guy wrote a book named Seth Junga wrote a book called Tribes, right? And in this book, he talks about, one of the biggest things for military people is when we get out of the military, or even law enforcement, anybody that was part of a structured, uniformed organization, when they get out of that organization, they lose their identity because, unlike civilian jobs, we wear our rank on our chest, our accomplishments on our sleeve, and stuff like that. And a lot of guys, when they get out, they lose sight of that. Jiu-jitsu, it provides a community, a different kind of tribe, right? And if you look at jiu-jitsu, I mean, we were talking earlier, you have special forces guys in here with mechanics. You have, a police officer in with a guy that he just arrested like maybe 5 days ago.
With teens.
And with teens, right? You got
with Grandpa Aaron.
Yeah, right? You got old men, young kids, and we'll talk about these young kids here at this school, man. These kids are good.
They're awesome. And I'll train with them, which means they're safe.
Yeah.
They're not going to just drop me on my head or do something stupid.
Right, exactly. But this is a community. And you look at any organization, when you walk into it, you can tell how good the leadership is by the culture of the organization, the climate of the organization. And most jiu-jitsu gyms are family networks, really good places for kids and families to get together. But you got to find them.
That's right.
Not everyone is like that. But yeah, for the most part, I try to stay around the ones that are.
Tell me a little bit about your jiu-jitsu journey, right? You were doing it at the same time as doing combatives, and then you got out and made jiu-jitsu your life, or was there another career? Was there something else that you?
So for me, my jiu-jitsu journey came from MMA. My background I was just, like I said, when I first joined, I just wanted to fight. I was an angry kid, and we try to find emotional intelligence any place that we can, and I just couldn't find it. And so then I started fighting MMA in 2007, and I quickly turned professional in 2009, and did the professional ranks. But as you turn professional, you get paid to fight. These guys are picking you apart. And the one weakness that I had was no jiu-jitsu. So I had turned pro, I was knocking people out. And then they figured that if they took me down to the ground, I couldn't get up. And the truth is I couldn't get up.
Yeah.
And so people were taking my back and holding me down. And so that's when I realized I needed to start jiu-jitsu. I didn't start jiu-jitsu until 2010. White belt, 31 years old, that's when I started.
Yeah.
And so then as I progressed, in 2010, I went, I was a white belt, went out and fought on the All Army Combatives competition. I ended up winning that. And then moved from I was in New York, moved down to Texas, got promoted to, blue belt and then purple belt. And then um, as I got out, it had always been my dream to own a gym, to teach this because of the combatives, because of the leadership that, you learn in the Army, counseling, coaching, mentoring, right? You should be able to do this outside. And I was also looking for a release. Um, to let go. I had to detox from the Army when I got out,
Yeah.
detox from all the things, right? The military is a beautiful place. You should join. I think everybody should serve. But I had detox from that when I got out. And so looking to find my own team and build my own team is what I wanted to do. And that's what ended up happening. And that's how I got into running my own gym.
And when did you open your gym?
I just opened it 9 months ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 9 months ago, and it's been a dream, and it's happening, and then eventually, I'm just taking it slow, not advertising, doing anything like that, just letting it grow organically, and yeah, it's starting to do its thing. So yeah,
When you got out of the military, when did you get out? How many years ago?
I got out in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were teaching the whole time.
Yes.
Were you at Impact teaching
I was at
or somewhere before?
I started. So when I got out, the idea, I took a year off, detox, and then I went and got a job at a corporate job, making lots of money, but I was losing sight of myself. Yeah, the best way to jump into anything is just to immerse yourself in it, right? I got caught up in the whole, yeah, just the corporate civilian life. It just
Like
wasn't.
9 to 5, making money.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. And so they offered me to teach kickboxing and jiu-jitsu, and that's what I did. And so then after that, I quit that job because COVID came out. I just quit that job and just sat back and I taught.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for people that want to open a gym?
Take it slow. The number one thing for me is that don't go all in right away, if that makes any sense. You want to build slowly. Um, and figure things out on the fly, right? Talk to people, talk to other people that have done it. I get a lot of good advice from Steve, and I get a lot of good advice from some of my other friends that are gym owners. Uh, yeah, just listen to everything around you. But the best advice I've got is approach it like a business, not like a club. Not like not a club, but like a you can't help everybody. So approach it like a business. And if you keep it like that and you focus on your business and you focus on the values that you want to instill, it just comes.
When you say don't go all in, what do you mean? Because a lot of people, they're gonna open a gym and they're spending all their money, right? Everything
Yeah.
just for this dream.
Yes.
So do you mean like be cautious there? What do you mean by don't
That's
go all in?
that's what I mean by don't go all in. Like I said, again, build slowly. I think somebody said, I've heard it said before, hire slowly, fire quickly, if that makes sense. And so from in my head, the way I process that is again, if I have $10,000, do I want to invest it all into this and just run with it, sink or swim, right? For me, I invested five, and then I kept that five on the side, right? Built it. I pieced things together. I have mats from this location, another set of mats from this location, wall mats from this location, right? And you build and you let that compound. You let that compound every month. It'll,
Take your time.
take your time, get your foundational team, right? Foundational team of members that are believing in you. You're ironing out all the kinks in your teaching style, right? In your system, in the way you process things, and then build, build, always improve. It's just like digging a foxhole. If you remember back in the day, you always want to improve your fighting position until it's time to leave. And so that's my advice to people.
Awesome. How does teaching civilians, right, teaching people on the mats that aren't military compare to when you taught combatives in the military?
Another great question. Another great question. Because when you look at it, I have different segments of people that I teach. So I teach police officers and first responders. They're a little bit more in shape, a little, kind of like the military guys, right? My civilians, they're all dope, but you'll realize quickly who wants competition and who wants to be a hobbyist.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with both. And you, as a leader, as a teacher of the school, you got to be flexible within the two. Not everybody's going to come in and be a world champion, right? People are here because of the intangibles that jiu-jitsu provides. And what are the intangibles, right? Grit, perseverance, determination.
Community, you said it
Yeah,
before, right? That's the
yeah,
main reason people stay, I think.
yeah. Community, resilience, right? I mean, those things, like, people are there for that, right? Um, Not to mention, when they walk away, they come in stressed out, they leave stress free, right? And so once you identify that, within your team, I think leading civilians is just the same. But I will say this, people coming from the military, people love the structure that we provide. All right, the structure, the get your shit right and mentality,
Yep.
right? Another thing is, like you said, we talk about counseling, coaching, mentor. We're able to break it down, first step, second step, third step. Okay, now let's mix it, or let's say you have 6 steps, right? 6 steps to get to an arm bar, right? Now, once you see them start to progress, you change it down to, now we're going to take it to 3 steps to get to the arm bar, right? So that way people are, combining things together. And I think people love that kind of structure, and they love it when you're able to teach slowly and then teach more effectively, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's switch gears to injuries, right? Because it is Dr. Jiu-Jitsu show, and we
Yeah.
like to talk about injuries because unfortunately they happen, and we do a sport where it's going to happen.
Yeah.
We just try to mitigate it the most we can. So you were telling me the other day when we chatted about an MCL tear you had with a
Mm-hmm.
meniscus tear
Mm-hmm.
before a fight,
Yes.
and this happened very soon before you went to take you
Yeah.
had a fight already planned, and it happened
Yeah.
in training. How soon before the match?
3 days before the
3 days
match.
before. What were you doing?
I was training, I was drilling. I had a couple guys that were really strong wrestlers. I was up against the cage. This was in El Paso, Texas. I was up against the cage. I was the main event fight. And so, like, I knew that this dude couldn't handle me with his hands, right? And so, like, I was, focused on the wrestling and stuff like that. And then I was up against the cage. I had just framed on a guy and pushed him away. He stepped back and then he shot in, and my foot was planted, and boom, hit the outside of my leg. It popped. I felt my knee go down to the ground. It popped, and I was like, ah! I stopped and I couldn't move. My leg was numb. I should have canceled the fight.
Well, that's what we're going to talk about, right? That's what we're going to talk about. Because
Okay.
you did do the fight, right? So this happened 3 days before. Your knee was swollen, I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
Swollen.
Right? You had an MCL tear
Yeah.
at the minimum, and then this meniscus tear as well.
Yeah.
But you made a comment to me before, like, oh, most people would have gotten surgery. I'm like, not necessarily, right? Not all meniscus tears need surgery.
Right.
You may have had just a small one. You might have been not bothering you. May have even just been the radiologist read, right? Maybe they read one and maybe it wasn't there. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
But MCL tears are usually non-operatively treated. We usually don't do surgery for that.
Yeah.
And you're one ligament down, right? Of like the 4 main ligaments, you could say, of your knee. And so you're one down.
Yeah.
And what did you get an MRI? Did you see someone before the fight?
So before the fight, I went to go see my doctor. I went to go see my doctor, and she ordered the labs, the X-rays and stuff like that. But that was after the fight.
Okay, so you didn't know you had all this
I didn't
damage
know,
until
yeah,
after.
yeah. And so all I knew is that I couldn't turn. I couldn't turn. I had no mobility or lateral movement. I had no lateral movement. And so
Because the knee was given out.
yeah, the knee was giving out. It was clicking, doing all the things, right? It was like, oh man, what am I gonna do? And so I remember I could run,
Straight line.
yeah, straight line, and I was pushing that, right? And I probably shouldn't have been running, but I was like, yeah, let me go. Okay, so that's cool. I can sit in the sauna. I can take it easy. I can take a bunch of Motrin before that. And you know what I think I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna be smart, and I'm gonna wear a compression sleeve, right? And then tape around it just in case, And so that's what I ended up doing.
All right, so fight day came along and
Yeah. Actually, so weigh-ins, the day before weigh-ins, I go up to the weigh-ins, and I'm trying so hard not to limp. I'm trying so hard, and, I'm trying to play it off, and I'm trying to do all these things.
were you close on the weight?
I was close.
So
Yeah.
did the swelling add anything?
No,
I'm actually curious how much weight that adds.
I was like, we don't miss weight in this house. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't ever miss weight, right? But I sat in the sauna a little bit longer. I don't know how much it added on, but it was like it was pretty fat. Um, and then the next day, so we're getting ready for the warm-ups before the pre-fight warm-ups, and I'm just like, okay, uh, just let me just stand here and hit pads, like let me just hit pads and feel it. No kicking, no pushing off, keeping the left leg forward. Um, yeah. And then fight time comes. I'm walking out to the fight and walking up the stairs. Ugh, terrible. Just a terrible feeling walking up the stairs to get into the cage. And I was like, man, Mark. And, part of the hype, is to never let them see you weak, right? And that was my thought process and mentality.
But you only had one knee wrapped.
Yeah.
So they could see something
They
was
could
probably
see
wrong
something.
with
Yeah.
that knee.
Yeah. They could see something, right?
Yeah.
And so walking up to the cage, we lock in. They lock me in the cage, and I'm like, all right, let's go. It's game time. So first round, we start exchanging. We're just going blow for blow. I could only go straight, and I backed him up against the cage. I grabbed him, shot him, trying to take him down. And then we made it past the 5 minutes of the first round.
Okay.
And then the second round comes out. I guess they made the correction because they saw I only had the movement. He cut an angle. I kept going forward. Couldn't turn to the side to address his angle. Clip, clip. Knocked me
Knockout.
down. Yeah, it was a TKO. Yeah.
Dang.
It was one of the losses I want back. I want back. And probably because I tried to build up the fight, you know what I mean? But I should have. Yeah, everybody bought tickets and stuff like
that's
that.
a tough position.
Yeah.
It's a tough position.
And so it wasn't until after later on where I got the X-rays, got the MRI done, and yeah, we've validated everything, and so they've made me wear a brace.
Yep. Did the
right?
rehab.
Yeah, did the rehab, physical
Exactly right.
therapy and stuff like that.
These MCLs, they heal by themselves.
Yeah.
They do, but you have to do the therapy, right?
Yeah.
They will heal. You just got to do the therapy and
Yeah.
get rid of the swelling, get your motion back. But it does take a couple weeks. Like,
Yeah.
It depends. There's different grades of MCL, so
Right.
it'll be that many weeks for you
Yeah.
to get better.
It took me a couple weeks to actually feel good again. At that time, I was running the SF recruiting and stuff like that. So I did a lot of swimming,
You're still able to do that job.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So one of the big things with MCLs too is that's one ligament down, right? So you're going into this match potentially at risk because that ligament's not stabilizing your knee.
yeah,
So people can sometimes go back too early or not pay attention to MCLs.
for sure.
They go back to their sport, cut pivot, and then another ligament pops.
Yeah.
Now you've turned a non-operative injury into surgery,
Yeah,
right? Because your ACL goes, something else goes, your posterior lateral corner, a different area of the knee could go.
yes,
So that's always why we shut people down.
Yes.
But it's not forever, right? Problem is sometimes football athletes will have them come in and it's the end of the season and then they're out 6 weeks and they're done, right? They miss all the playoffs, they miss everything. So it's tricky
Yeah.
situation, but I'm grateful that nothing else worse happened.
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I had some good advice. People told me like you just got to strengthen the other areas, the other
Yeah.
parts of the leg and stuff like that. And
The
so
hips, the low back, all
Yeah.
these things get missed a lot. 'Cause people are like, oh, it's the knee. I remember I used to write this script all the time when I was a civilian doc, like strengthen the glutes, strengthen the hips, and they're like, and the insurance would be like denied. It's their knee, and I was
Yeah.
like,
yeah,
like you guys don't get it. So
yeah. And so yeah, and then that's it. And so like, there's a lot of things, especially for older athletes like that, like being able to do all this stuff. Like I'm just thankful that I can sit like this for a little bit.
yeah, you can
know?
bend your knees and sit on your butt,
Oh my
or
gosh.
sit your butt to your heels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just thankful.
What other injuries have you had or
Uh,
wrestling with currently? And
meniscus on this knee.
okay,
Meniscus on this from a helicopter jump. Yeah.
and so you never got that one addressed,
No.
but it's good now.
It's good now. Yeah.
Okay.
It's good now. I mean, and again, they want to do surgery on this knee. But I denied. I was like, nope,
Okay.
nope. And my thought process at the time was, no, I'm just gonna suck it up and move on. And I was, Ranger candy, like I had
And now you're good.
yeah. It took a long time for it to be good,
Yeah.
right? It took a long time, especially the last 2 years in the Army. Yeah, it was really bad, like
Okay.
really bad. But like I said, when I got out, I mean, I'm good now. Just from A lot of mobility work, a lot like doing the work. You have to do the work in order for it to get better.
That's the thing. People will tell people no surgery here, and they're like, okay, back to comp rolls tomorrow. It's
Yeah.
like, no, that is not what that
No.
means. That just means I'm not cutting you, right?
No.
That doesn't mean you skip physical therapy.
Right. And that's probably the hardest thing right there. The hardest thing for me was staying away from the mats, staying away from, rucking or doing all the cool stuff, right? The stuff with my friends, stuff like that. Now I got to go sit in the pool and, do flutter kicks on the wall and stuff like that,
Well, it's lame.
just trash, right?
But surgery would have been a lot longer away from your friends.
For sure.
So that's what I try to tell people. I'm like, you're getting out easy,
Yeah.
whatever it is, 4 weeks, 8 weeks. It's better than potentially a year from an ACL, something like this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you also told me about neck, back stuff.
Yeah.
Some probably arthritis, some
Yeah.
compression on nerves.
Definitely arthritis. I got degenerative disc in the back, and I'm sure majority of us do. But like I said, when they do the X-rays, they're like, look, bro, this right here is not good. Alignment issues, like when your back, your back is out of alignment, like it just messes with you,
Yeah.
like that whole posterior chain, right? Getting everything in alignment. Yeah. I've had to do, and I'm so glad that, that now I'm able to get the chiropractic care because I think for me, just getting everything in alignment is right, and then I can go off and I can address the muscular issue and stuff like that.
So what else do you do? Like massage,
Massage,
physical therapy,
cupping,
hopefully.
let's see, on the lower back.
It's part of all of it.
Yeah, it's part of it.
It's so important.
Yeah. And so I see another hard part is when you walk into a physical therapist and they give you these exercises and see that these exercises that you're capable of doing these exercises, and then I'm like, oh, you don't need this.
And they don't move on, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, no, I do need this,
Right.
right? I do need this. You just need to pick it up a little bit,
Yeah.
and like give me a little bit more weight. And then
Well, that's a problem that a lot of athletes have, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to find the right therapist.
Yeah.
And then also, many doctors in general, right? Many healthcare providers don't understand what we do in jiu-jitsu.
Right.
So I tell people, like, I've had 2 PTs who are black belts in jiu-jitsu on the podcast. Like, go seek these guys out for the end of your PT, and they will give you very specific stuff for depending on your game, right? Are you a bottom guy, you top guy, you wrestler, you like feet, you like to be on your
Talking
feet.
jiu-jitsu here.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it is the Doctor Jiu Jitsu show.
Yeah.
So what's your style of how you play?
Right.
And then they can get you back appropriately.
Right.
And so I always recommend
love that.
Even at the end of I'll do an ACL surgery on someone. After 6 months, they're like, okay, like they're not doing anything new for me in PT. They're going through the protocol. And it's like, okay, you need to go talk to these people. And they don't take insurance, right? So it is cash, but it's worth every penny.
For
because
sure.
you're getting back safely in something that you can get back 100%, feel great versus another year or 2 down the road, it's still lingering if you didn't do it right. Yeah.
And I love that. And that's part of the things that I've learned outside. If your insurance doesn't cover it sometimes, so it's better for you to just pay for it and get it done. And I've done that a couple times, right? A couple times. And so
It's hard with insurance.
yeah. And especially when you have VA insurance,
Or none. A lot of athletes have none. Right?
Yeah. That's so true.
And that's really hard.
So true.
Yeah. Okay, so for people listening that are all beat up, right? Maybe older like us, 30s, 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
And I already consider myself old now that the 20-year-olds beating me up. So once we're getting older, for the person listening that's beat up and thinking about quitting jiu-jitsu, what advice do you have? What's kind of kept you in the game?
Don't quit. Don't quit. For real, don't quit. Limit what you do. Limit what you do. i.e., be very selective with who you decide to roll with. Have a gym buddy, you know what I'm saying? A rolling partner that you trust, that understands where you're at in your game or where you're at in your jiu-jitsu journey. But the saddest thing that I see is when I see a purple belt stop rolling, or, it doesn't matter what belt, but at purple belt and blue belt, bro, you guys are getting started. Don't stop. Just because I started at 31, I'm 48 now. And so you just got to get in. If it takes you showing up 30 minutes early to warm up on the side and then staying 30 minutes later to warm up on the side, it's so much better for you.
Yeah. Picking the partners is so huge.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Yeah.
Because even to this day, I try to say no. And then sometimes I'm all warmed up and revved up and I'm like, sure, let's roll. And then I get smashed and by bigger guys or even smaller wrestlers, young
Yeah.
guys that just compress my neck.
Yeah.
And then it's tough to recover from that.
Yeah.
So being selective is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. So I gotta ask you your thought process. What's the most dangerous belt on the mat?
Oh, probably the white belt with the tap with
Facts.
the what is it, the tap out
Yeah.
bag that comes in the gym.
Yeah.
And a big dude,
Yeah.
right? Like a 200-pound,
Yeah.
180-pound
Yeah.
white belt.
Yeah. Yeah,
That,
for sure.
yeah.
And those are the only times that I've ever gotten hurt.
Yeah.
Is when I roll with the, with
Well,
the
no, I get hurt a
newer white.
lot. Like
Yeah.
I think people see this small little female,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're just like, in black belt, they're like, oh no, she's not winning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why it's more important too to pick my partners.
Yeah,
Because it's not about winning and losing on the mats here.
And that's one of the things that another thing that we have to address, is the ego, right? The ego, like
We all
even as
have it.
yeah, even as black belts, I have it. I was just talking the other day about should a black belt roll with everybody that asks, that should first off. Should everybody ask the black belt to roll? And then second off, should the black belt roll with everybody in the gym? And I try to, but the truth is no.
Yeah, I say no. There's
Yeah.
some guys in the gym where they come up to me after my class. Doc, can we roll? I'm like, not yet.
Yeah.
They're like, come on. And I said,
Yeah.
I just saw you roll with your buddy, and
Yeah.
you guys try to kill each other.
Yeah.
And you're 200 pounds.
Exactly.
They're like, oh, come on, that's just 'cause my friend. I'm like,
Yeah.
so when I say yes to you, eventually, you've made it.
Yeah.
Right? You've
Yeah.
gotten controlled and technical.
For sure.
That's what I tell them.
For sure. And that's the biggest compliment. If a black belt
That's right.
says yes to you,
A small female black belt,
Yeah.
especially,
for sure.
because I am going to say no to a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
But it's tricky when you're teaching a seminar too, because I've taught seminars and then like people pay you to go. And so you're like, oh man, I should probably roll with all these people.
Mm-hmm.
But also if I see a bigger deal, I'm like, listen, I got a bad neck, like watch this,
Yeah.
take it easy. And then they're usually pretty respectful.
And I love that you said that part, sometimes like I'll ask people like, hey, you got any injuries
That's
that are
right.
going on right now? Right. And I'm smart enough to stay away from it, but avoid the guy when you tell them your injuries and they go right for it.
no.
Oh my
Or just don't care. They just
Yeah.
forget about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so we're kind of coming towards the end here.
Okay.
But I got a couple of rapid fire questions. So, and right now we're at Logic where I earn my black belt from
Yeah.
Steven Galvez. So
Yes.
he was like, you can film there, but you have to ask Marcus a question. So Friday I taught class. We had all these visitors. It was
Yeah.
so dope.
Yeah.
And he said, ask Marcus if he brought that smoke. So you got to be honest here.
Yeah.
I told him he was taking it easy on him. I was like, he's taking it easy on you.
Bro. Yeah, you brought the smoke, bro. You brought the smoke.
That's all he wanted. That'll make his day.
Bow down, bow down.
Yeah, right.
Hey, but that's your son. That's your boy. Ask him who his uncle is.
That's right. You took it out on Troy.
That's
Poor
right.
Troy. Troy's his son, and he's such a good kid. He's like 17. He's
Yeah,
a good
good
dude.
kid, man. Good, real good jujitsu too.
Yeah.
Real good jujitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. What's your favorite submission to hit?
I'm a triangle guy.
Yeah.
I love triangles. Triangle
In gi and no
all
gi, both,
positions.
everything.
All positions. I like it. I like it in gi, no gi, doesn't matter. Yeah, I've been working on hitting that reverse triangle from the back. Yeah, it's my baby.
Combatives or jiu-jitsu?
Oh, I'm a combatives guy. I love to punch people in the
Yeah.
face. I
So
love.
he's a stand-up kind of
Yeah,
guy.
I'm a stand-up
A
banger.
stand-up kinda guy.
Yeah.
Awesome. What's kind of one of the coolest things about Oregon jiu-jitsu in general? Do you think it has a different vibe?
Jiu-jitsu has a different vibe. That's one of the luxuries I've had being in the military. I've traveled all across and done jiu-jitsu in basically every part of the United States. Or Pacific Northwest Jiu-Jitsu, man, we're flowy, right? We're flowy, we're wrestly. And again, there's a lot of technical jiu-jitsu out there down in Oregon too, up here in Washington. Like Pacific Northwest Jiu-Jitsu, I think it's like almost as pure as you can get, outside of, where all the concentration of Brazil and, Brazilians and stuff like that. I think it's really dope.
Does it rain as much in Oregon as
No,
up here?
it's warmer.
Man,
It's warmer down there.
it's so
And
rainy up here.
There's waterfalls down there. It's
There's
beautiful.
waterfalls here. It's beautiful up here,
Yeah.
but it's always raining. So my theory is people train more because it's always raining. Like,
What
else am I gonna do?
Yeah, exactly. No,
People train so
down
much.
there it's really nice. It's warmer. It's beautiful.
Nice.
Got to come down and visit.
Nice. Well, where can people find you? Like, if they were visiting Oregon, where are you exactly in comparison to Portland?
Yeah. So Portland, Oregon, I'm on the west side of Portland. So if you take Highway 26, up, you'll pass Beaverton, Hillsboro. Like I'm in those areas. I'm right there in I live in Beaverton, Hillsboro, but my school is out in Banks. You just got to go a little bit further. When you pass Amazon and Intel and Nike and all those places, and you see all this beautiful, lush valley lands,
That's you.
that's me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. What about social media? Anything?
Social
where to
media,
find you?
Sunset Jiu Jitsu on Instagram. I'm working on the Facebook right now. Or you can find me on Facebook, Marques Daniels, Marques D33. Yep. Find me on Instagram too.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, thanks again for being here. It was really nice having you. Thanks for, I
Thank
know you didn't
you.
drive up for this, but I appreciate you being here, making time
No
to come and do
worries.
this podcast
No
and
worries.
just talk about all these things because military, just you got so much knowledge and such a vast life experience. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me out. This was great, and your class was dope.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Lots of Funky Fridays. You came in for Funky Fridays.
I love it. I love
All right,
it.
guys. Well, thank you so much. Stay healthy, and I'll see you guys next time.